It's been really a while since we talked, and like my microphone level is way better than last time. Yeah, welcome to episode 2 from Doomers to Bloomers, and you're most welcome. Come over here to check on your mental health. I guess you guys been waiting for this, aren't you? You guys been agitating to actually how to work on this, how to do this. It's also 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm recording this right now. Depression in the 21st century. That's our topic today. It's gonna be really heavy. It's gonna be like a little bit of trigger warning and everything. It's gonna be like, I feel like a personal attack to one of you guys, at least whoever watching this. It's gonna be a rough ride. It's gonna be a rough ride in this podcast, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get deep insight into it. And then put a disclaimer first. I'm not a licensed psychiatrist. I'm not a licensed psychologist. I'm just here to talk about from my point of view, from what I experienced based in the past, and over the sessions that I've been with my own psychologist, and how it went really well for me, how it does for me throughout my journey of dealing with mental illness, and I'm still struggling with it and still doing it. My name is Eden. You can call me Dase. I'm not a licensed psychiatrist, not a licensed psychologist. If you do need help, this is a serious thing. If you do need help, please go out there, ask for help, talk to one of your friends to take you out for a doctor. Seek professional help as fast as you can if this is really, really taking a toll on your life and affecting your daily lives and your routine. Mental health is always a real thing. It's real. It's out there, and people are struggling with it every day, and sometimes we just ignore it and we just like sweep it away. They put it under the carpet and not doing anything about it, and it's really bothering me a lot. Like, we're living in the title says, we're living in 21st century. We're living in the fucking future, and nobody bothers about taking care of your own mental health. We're so busy thinking about our physical body. We're so busy taking care about your face and everything, your weight, or how you look like. Never bother about taking care of our mental health. It's really mind-boggling because we're in the 21st century and no one's even bothered doing that. And one of them is really, really big and really like a huge thing in mental illness is depression. It's like a HIV in terms of illness, but in terms of mental illness is depression. If you think about like someone, he got a HIV, that's something very serious, but like in terms of mental illness and mental health, it's depression. Depression kills most people in the world. Depression kills, and it's something that's been exist for like hundreds of years, and people not even bothered by curing it. Some people are taking it seriously. Some people are just taking it as a joke. Some people just take it as something that's really cool. From my personal kind of experience, I am diagnosed with HFD, high functioning depression. Diagnosed a year ago. Some of the off days where I used to usually go out movies and hang out with my friends, I don't do that naturally anymore. I don't find the enjoyment in playing video games as well. It's a process of just trying to get to know what is going on with yourself. You just think like, it's just a normal thing that everyone goes through this, it's a normal stuff. But it's not normal. If you have like a righteous self-aware, you would like tell yourself that this is not something normal. This is something that I've been suffering with for like a few months or a few years. In my personal case, I've been dealing with this for 3 years straight. It's something that I've been dealing with, trying to struggle with to cope with it. There are some things that like do triggers you and everything. Like when you literally like listening to a song and it just triggers you and think that you're not worthy of anything, that's how depression feels. Okay, let me tell you how it feels like to be depressed, or like have a depression in your head. All right, at the moment it starts to hit you, you start questioning yourself. You start to doubt yourself. If you're like self-worthy, if you're worthy of everyone's time, if you're worthy of someone's help. Someone's trying to help you, and then you start questioning, why is this guy helping me? Am I that worthy to be helped? Am I someone that deserve to be helped by this person? And you start to like blame yourself. Like you start to have these high level kind of thought of depression. You just started thinking like, what if I just gone from this world and I would be the last burden of everyone else in this world? You started to think like, if I don't exist, maybe this problem couldn't be happened in the past, or in the future I wouldn't be causing any problems anymore for people, right? But the thing is, it's always about what we think. It's always about depression has always come to the person itself destroying themselves by thinking what they shouldn't be thinking. But it's a thing that it can't be. It's unavoidable to that person, and if that person really really cares about everyone else, and at the same time they don't really care about themselves, it's a bit of an imbalance of caring each other. And there's a time where you just think like, what are you doing with your life? You're just wasting your time doing this and this and this, even though you're just playing games. You're enjoying games, you're enjoying a company with your friend, you're enjoying playing video games with your friend, and you just start to think like you're just wasting time with your friend. It's a bit unnatural. It's hard because after that stage, it becomes to the second stage, or way more serious stage, where you just can't think of anything else. You just keep thinking about, suicide thoughts. You keep thinking about what if you're gone and every other problem in the world would be like much more nicer. What if you don't exist? So you have that kind of thing. And there are some times where you just want to reassure yourself that you have a self-value, and this thoughts in the back of your head start fighting back. They start want to question you back, like, oh, you think you're that worthy? You're trying to convince yourself that you are worthy, but the voice in your head start fighting like, hey, do you think you are? You think you're not? I think you're not, but I think you are. Start questioning yourself. And then at that point where some people have the tendency to kill themselves because they're just suffering from hearing those voices in their head, and they just wanted to stop from what they want, how they wanted to stop, just by ending their life. That's the only way they could think of, right? I'm gonna tell you, back in May, I was really getting into a really, really hard of a panic attack, and I have a really hard episode for myself because I was thinking like I can't think of anything else. Something really did trigger me back in May, but I can't really remember. But I was just having this deep thoughts of thinking, what if I just die? Will this thing stop? Will the voice back in my head, the big bully that keeps questioning myself, and I'm trying to convince myself that I am worthy for my friends and my family. I'm worthy for myself. I'm enjoying doing everything that I want. Those kind of things. And I was literally at the edge of just trying to do it. But from what I've learned, from what I've been to a lot of different psychologists, and I've talked to one of my main psychologists, and I've still talked to more self-confidence in myself towards over the year, and it's been really great. And after that, they told me, you know what to do when that thing happened. You know how to handle it manually without even you switching on auto mode and thinking you don't worthy yourself, you should kill yourself and do self-harm, right? Some people cope it differently. Some people just want to feel pain, and they just cut themselves, or just record a video, post it on social media. They want to ask for help. They wanted help. They wanted to call for help, but they don't know how to do it. So the only way they can do it is either putting something really edgy, quote unquote edgy, something that's really related to being depressed online, post it online, or show a video, or make a clue or something, and they either make a joke out of it, or please do reach out, because one day you don't know when they go, and you be like, it should be my fault, I should have said hi. Thing is, depression in the 21st century, it's really rapidly growing. We're at the end game here. We're the 21st century. We have a lot of technologies. We can do heart transplant. We can do blood transfusion. We can do a lot of things to our physical body. And there's one thing if we can't cure in the 21st century is our mental health. It's just fucking stupid, if you think about it. We do all this magical shit. We can't even imagine the past 50 years, and you're telling me we still have the lack of resources to help our mental health to this day in 21st century? That sounds bullshit. That sounds really bullshit. The only thing that's not working in these modern days is the society itself, people itself. We don't care for each other. We don't even talk to each other. We don't even ask how they are. We ask how we are. It's harsh. We're living in a harsh time. We're living in the end game of society, and no one's doing anything. let's just say it's starting today. We don't even care about our mental health. What's it gonna be in the next 10 or 20 years for our kids or for our future generation? They're gonna be like, they're depressed, they want to kill themselves, and that's something that's very normal to be. It's not something normal. That's something very abnormal. It's happening right now. It's happening today. If you're dealing with depression, do tell yourself you have a problem, because it is. If you're telling me, okay, I'll give you an analogy. I'll give you an example. If you have an HIV, you would seek out treatment instantly because you know your life is in danger, right? That's the thing. Same thing goes to mental health, mental illness. If you have depression, think that you can't do something normal for the past few days, and you don't even enjoy things that you usually to enjoy anymore because of this, you keep thinking about your past, your future, you keep worrying about things. That's not normal to me, and you should seek help. Find a professional help near you. Go get a doctor or something. Talk with someone. Or if you can't afford to get a professional help, the least thing you could do is talk to your closest friends, to talk to your closest family members. Talk about it. People don't really care about that. Most people just think like, oh man, I'm just going through a phase. It's not just a phase. It's just a thing that you need to know how to overcome it. It's not just you just keep dealing with it day after day, and you just keep like, oh man, I'll deal with this later. Something that you should be handling it really, really right now. Taking care of yourself, taking care of it. In the 21st century, I have a lot of things to complain about, to be honest. First of all, people don't care about what is depression and what mental health is. They either don't care, they don't have the balls to talk about it, because they think it's like something very serious and like it's a taboo. You can't talk about that. That's bullshit. Bullshit. Talk about mental health, like asking how you are and asking how that person feeling right now, and telling them like it's totally fine to have going through this. I'm going through it as well, and it's a normal thing for everyone to go through. Depression is not a normal thing, but struggling on something, it's a normal thing. You gotta tell them that. And most people with depression, they think like struggling, it's something that's abnormal, something that's everyone don't go through. Someone with depression thinks like, oh, if I'm struggling, I'm the weakest one, I'm the weakest link in this population. It's not that. You gotta tell them, you gotta convince them. Having difficulties is a very normal thing. You gotta tell them it's very normal to go through something harsh. And if they believe themselves, most of the time they would just tell themselves like they're the weakest one, they're not worthy of doing this and this and that. It's wrong. Tell them they're wrong. Tell them they are wrong, because it's normal to be weak. It's normal to be vulnerable. It's normal to be struggling with something. And second of all, I want to complain about how this generation, this future generation, they think it's very normal. It's a normal phase to go through. Depression, when you're depressed and you're hating yourself so bad, you think it's normal to hate yourself. You think it's normal to be having problems and just sweep it away. And you think it's normal to just deal with it later. It's not. It's something that needs to be talked about. It's something that needs to be vented on someone else. Talk with someone, tell them what you're dealing with, your closest friend, your closest family members. Do it. Do it. When I go to a psychologist, when I go to a therapist, it's literally just talking to each other. And what they do is just they make me understand more about what I feel. They make me understand more about what I'm going through. They make me want to understand more about myself. And they explain it very gracefully because they're professionals. They know what they're dealing with. They know what I'm dealing with. And of course, we get like all this stigma of local here in Malaysia. Get stigmatized like, oh, you're depressed. Then maybe you should start doing this. Maybe your lack of faith, you don't believe in God and stuff. Maybe you don't do this much often. Oh, maybe they just say like, oh, just stop being sad, bro. I'm like, dude, I wish I can, but I can't. What am I supposed to do? Cancel myself so I don't have to depress? Cancel depression. Go with Twitter, cancel depression right fucking now. I want people to do that. That's a big energy right there, but no one's talking about it. It's a very serious thing, and we need to talk about it. People that's depressed, they just think they're not worthy, they're worthless, they're just not worth of someone's time. That's what they think. That's what they think most of the time. But the truth is, it's not that. When someone tells us that they think they're not worthy, they're worthless and everything, I would tell them that you're not. That's just your point of view. From my point of view, you're more than just that. There's some sayings say like your worst critic is yourself, and you should take care of someone other's critic as well. You take points of other people's critic. If you tell yourself that you're worthy, you're worthless as hell, and then what about other people's opinion about you? Your closest one, the friends that you really, really care about. What do they think about you? They would say the opposite. Obviously, if you really, really care about your friend, your closest friend that you have with, you will consider what they think about you. If you think you're worthless and they think you're not, you should take that piece, put it into your heart. Tell yourself that you're not worthless. You have these people that actually do care about you. You have these people that actually do value you for who you are, for who you just being yourself, and people care. That's the best thing ever. And you keep blaming yourself over the past thing that ever happened to you. It's already happened, and you can't do anything about it. You can learn from it. That's all you can do. You can't fix things that's already happened in the past. You can fix things right now. You can take action, but you keep on hanging on the past, and you're not going anywhere. And you're also worried about the future. You tell yourself, "What if I do this and I'm gonna, messed up the things?" Like, how do you know? Are you a prophet? Can you give me a prophecy? Can you tell the future? Are you from the future? What gives? How do you know? You don't know. You're nothing. So the thing is, if you have anxiety or like depression right now, seek professional help as much as you can. I'm not a licensed psychologist or a therapist. I'm just someone here to talk. Do reach out to my socials. If you're dealing with anything, talk to me. Reach me out on Discord or anything, Twitter, Instagram. Get me in. I'll talk to you. Last thing is, take care of yourself more. And depression is real. It's not something to be cool. Okay? It's not something to fly. No, it's not. It's something that we all should be taking care about. To one of your friends who ever suffering from it, say hello to them. Ask them if they're okay. Slide into their DM. Tell them, are you nice? Are you okay? Are you feeling good? What's going on? What happened? You're all right? Ask the kind of question. You're good to go. You play your part. That's about it. That's all you gotta do. Sorry, this is in episode 2. I'm really enjoyed talking about this, and I really, really want to talk about it again. And I'm planning to do episode 2, part 2 on this one, because this is a really, really long matter, and this is very serious stuff to talk about. On part 2, I'll give the things that I've been taught on how to handle this, how to cope with it, and how I deal with it most of the time. So thank you for listening to my podcast, and I'll see you on the next part 2, episode 2.